things are looking interesting over in the Asian qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup, with the likes of Uzbekistan, Jordan and Japan currently dominating their respective groups. But don't rule out the likes of Indonesia and Iraq to making it through to the competition. We're going to take a little look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match number 3, that's right, in the Asian qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. Can the likes of the Socceroos get their act together and get themselves back in the mix to qualify? We'll take a look at that in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Asian World Cup qualifiers, World Cup itself, Blackburn Rovers, that's right, we come out here under one roof ski. Of course, it is a pivotal stage in the World Cup qualifiers in Asia. And of course, back-to-back games coming at you this coming week. Who will get themselves in command, in the driving seat? Well, we'll take a little look at it in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. You know who you are. And again, big shout out to the members, all part of the family. Now, there is, guys, another way to become part of the family, and I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Of course, folks, we are talking here about the AFC Asian qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. But that way to become part of the family is this. I'm coming at you, Indonesia. I'm coming at you, Iraq. I'm coming at you, Palestine, Qatar, Uzbekistan, my brothers from another mother's. That's right. I'm coming at all of yous. I need your votes, of course. I do appreciate the love on the channel, coming here, watching the predictions. I do appreciate, but I need your help. That's right. I'm calling you guys from Indonesia. You know, you are the answer to me winning this. Go ahead and vote. Costs you absolutely nothing. 100% free. I need your vote, Indonesia. Let them hear your voice. Let the rest of the world know about Indonesian football. Let them know about Iraqi football. Let them know about Uzbekistan. I need your vote, guys. So please go ahead and do that. Cutley4 vote BRFC. We are in the best club content creator, football league, and best podcast football league categories. It takes you 20 seconds to do just that. So please, please, please go ahead and vote. I do really appreciate it. But, guys, we are going to look back at the games that did take place in September. And, of course, there were some surprises in there. Let's take a look at them one by one. So, start at the top of the graphic right there. North Korea did draw against Qatar 2-2 in the end. Uzbekistan picking up a 3-2 win over their brothers Kyrgyzstan 3-2 in the end. Iran 1-0 winners over the UAE. Jordan also picking up a big win over Palestine, 3-1 win there. South Korea 3-1 victory over Oman. A lot of away wins, as you see. In fact, all the matches preferred the away side here when you think about it. South Korea 3-1 winners over Oman. Iraq 0-0 draw against Kuwait. Saudi Arabia 2-1 win over China. Indonesia, however, I think they got a good result against Australia 0-0. And of course, Japan 5-0 winners over Bahrain. Good stuff all around. But some guys need work to do. Australia need work to do. China need work to do. And maybe even Qatar need a bit of work to do as well. But anyway, this is the play in the tables as you see it. Now, my understanding is top 2 go through, I think, to the World Cup. And then 3rd and 4th have to duke it out elsewhere, further down in another qualification phase. That's my understanding. Anyway, Uzbekistan lead the charge in Group A, with Iran hot on the heels. Both picked up successive wins. The UAE, not far away, but look at Qatar. They are struggling and they need to get their act together. Meanwhile, in Group B, it's Jordan and it is South Korea with Iraq. Also in a 3rd space there. It could be a very, very tight group. Could go down to the wire on that one. And then Group C sees Japan top the charts at the moment. 2 wins out 2. You would expect that. Saudi Arabia also up there. Bahrain. But Indonesia unbeaten so far. But they do need a win. And that win could be right around the corner. Australia, though, also down there. And China. This is probably the hardest group to core at the moment. So remember, top 2, I think you go through to the World Cup. 3rd and 4th, I think you go through to another qualification phase. But we'll see. That's, of course, to be played another time. That's right, folks. We're going over to the Milli Stadium at Sova in Tashkent, in my old stomping ground, Uzbekistan, of course, as they take on Iran for what will be the 13th time. Just 1 win for Uzbekistan, 8 wins for Iran, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides. Both sides, though, come into this in pretty hot to bloody trot form, in identical form, in fact, over the last 6. 92% form, winning 5 and drawing just the 1. Iran are top currently of Group A, with Uzbekistan in 2nd spot. Both, of course, on 14 points. thus far. Last time around, though, at this over in Uzbekistan, it was a 2-2 draw back in November 2023. They did play again back in June 2024. It was a 0-0 draw in that game. So they couldn't be separated then. Could they be separated now? Well, that's, of course, the question. Heading into this, though, Uzbekistan picking up a 1-0 win over Korea. That's North Korea, and a 3-2 win over Kyrgyzstan. Meanwhile, Iran 1-0 win over the same country there, Kyrgyzstan, but also a 1-0 win over UAE to make it 3 clean sheets on the spin. Bookies, though, I don't have any bookies odds on this, so we're going to have to go with my gut. And my gut says it's going to be tight, but I think I'm leaning towards, draw on here, another one. That's 30 on the bounce between these two countries. But I think Iran overall will be happier because getting a point against Uzbekistan on the road will be monumental in their quest to remain in top spot. Turn on over to Abu Dhabi now as UAE take on North Korea. Of course, coming at you on October the 10th at the Hazza bin Zayed Stadium in UAE. These two countries have played 5 times since 2008. 3 wins for North Korea, just 1 win for UAE, and there's been 1 draw, of course. But over in Group A, UAE looked like they're top of the charts. It was 16 points so far up against North Korea, who are in second with 9 points thus far in the qualification phase. UAE, though, 75% form for them, do come into this on the back of a defeat. We'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, North Korea also without a win in the last 4. How can they be second, though, with that? There must be some other tournament. Anyway, the last time that these two sides played was in Korea. It was back in August 2016. Korea coming out on top with a 2-0 win. It's actually been back-to-back clean sheets for them. Coming at you, though, so far in this group. Yeah, I don't know about those points. Those points are wrong. Maybe it was from the previous round. So UAE 3-1 win over Qatar. They did lose to Iran most recently. Korea did lose to Uzbekistan, but pick it up a draw against Qatar in this one. Again, got no odds on this one, but I'm going to lean towards the hosts, UAE. I don't think North Korea are travelling well, and I don't think they'll get many points, if any, in this match. 2-0 win, UAE. Head on over to Qatar now as they take on Kyrgyzstan. Of course, coming at you same match day. Qatar so far not great in their quest for qualification for a second successive World Cup. Up against Kyrgyzstan Republic, who of course coming into this without a win in the last 4 matches. Qatar just 1 win for themselves. 67% form for them coming at you. Now these two countries played 1 time in 2018, and it was a 1-0 win for Qatar. That was in a friendly way back in December 2018. But thus far, Qatar losing the UAE at home, and it could only draw against North Korea last time around. On the flip side, Kyrgyzstan losing to Iran and also picking up a 3-2 loss to Uzbekistan in their most recent match. So back-to-back defeats for them is not great. A good chance here, though, for the Kyrgyzstan Republic to get something over the next couple of games. An out-of-form Qatar and then taking on North Korea at home in quick succession could put them back in the thick of things. Qatar, though, really got to win this game. Otherwise, they could be already looking on the outside or the long way round to get through to the World Cup. I think they'll win this one, though. Qatar, I don't know where they're gone right now. They've been such a force of late, but so far they've been shit. And I think they need to bounce back and get a result here. 3-0 winners, Qatar taking the point. Head over to Jordan now as they take on South Korea. That's right, coming at you October the 10th as well over in Group B. Jordan unbeaten in the last 6 matches, 83% form for them right now. Up against Korea, also unbeaten in the last 6, 83% form for them as well. Played 7 times, these two nations. 1 win for Jordan, 4 wins for Korea, 2 draws as well. Jordan, though, picked up a 2-0 win last time around back in the Asian Cup in the semi-finals on the way to the final. They beat South Korea, 2-0 win. Back in February 2024. Prior to that, they did a draw in the same competition, a 2-2 draw. This was under Klinsmann, if my memory serves me correctly. 2-2 it was back in the day. So Korea on the back of that 0-0 draw against Palestine, opening day for them. Then they bounced back with a 3-1 win over Oman. Jordan also drew on their first match, picking up a 1-1 draw against Kuwait. They, of course, followed that with a 3-1 win over Palestine. Over in Group B, of course, this one, realistically, I'm going to go with South Korea. They should be too good, too strong. We'll get something from this game. Going to go with a 1-0 win for them on the road over in Jordan. Next up, it's Oman. They're taking on Kuwait. Coming at you over on October the 10th as well. Over in Group B. Played 8 times since 2009. 6 wins for Oman, nothing for Kuwait, and 2 draws. However, Oman started with back-to-back defeats for them. At a 58% form for them over the last 6. Kuwait picking up a couple of draws, unbeaten now in the last 4 matches. They have played 8 times, 6 wins for Oman, including a 2-1 win last time around back in November 2019 in the Gulf Cup. Oman have actually won 3 in the bounce against them, conceding just the 1 goal in the last 6 matches. Goodness gracious me. That was a 2-1 win back in the day. Kuwait picking up successive draws against Jordan and then Iraq. Meanwhile, Oman losing to Iraq and then picking up a loss also against Korean Republic. So not great for them. They need a win and they need one fast. Got no odds for this one, but I'm going to go with the hosts to get a point here. 1-1. Kuwait will be happy. Another draw in the bank, but realistically, they've got to start getting wins to their name. Head on over to Iraq now as they take on Palestine, of course, coming at you over in Group B. Iraq, pretty good form for them at the moment. Unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, 92% form for them right now. Palestine without a win in the last 4. That is right. Now, these two countries have played 6 times since 2006. 5 wins for Iraq, nothing for Palestine. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. They last played back in August 2019. It was a 2-1 win for Iraq in Palestine, I believe, or whenever the WAFF Championship took place. Iraq have won, 4 in the spin against them, but they're coming into this on the back of a draw. They did draw with Kuwait, but picking up 4 points of a possible 6. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. As for Palestine, Iraq have been formidable of recent years, especially in these Asian regions and, of course, competitions. And they've been airtight at the back pretty much for the defensive ranks. I do anticipate them to do a similar job here. 2-0 win over Palestine to put themselves still in the driving seat over in Group B. One nation that's in a bit of trouble, and that is the Socceroos. That's right, Australia need to get their act together over in Group C. Back-to-back games now without a win. Coming at you up against the Chinese side, also suffering a bit of an identity crisis. 3 defeats on the spin. Now, these two countries have played 7 times since 2007. 3 wins for the Socceroos, 2 for China, and 2 draws between the two sides. In fact, they actually drew last time around back in November 2021 in China. Australia are unbeaten against them over the last 3. A couple of wins and just that 1 draw. In fact, they conceded just the 1 goal against them over the last 3. And that's their, they've been pretty airtight at the back as well of late. I know they've just sacked their manager, or he's walked away, but just the 1 point to the name so far, but they've only conceded 1 goal in the last 6. So I don't know what's going on here. So 1 goal conceded over the last 6. Very good before this tournament, but a loss against Bahrain, that's probably put the strain on them because they need to qualify. Australia should be at the World Cup. Meanwhile, standing in the way though is China, of course, losing to Japan 7-0 and then 2-1 loss to Saudi Arabia puts them also in a bit of a pickle as well, but they've only scored 1 goal in the last 3. Australia should win this one. I think they'll get a result, 2-1 win to put them right back in the thick of things to qualify. Next up, we go to Bahrain as we head over to the National Stadium. Bahrain coming at you with a win and a defeat so far up against the undefeated Indonesian side. That's right, 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Looking pretty good right now. Played 3 times these two countries since 2007. We have 2 wins for Bahrain, 1 win for Indonesia. There's been 0 draws between the two sides. However, big however, the last time that these two sides played in Bahrain, sorry Indonesia, it was a 10-0 win for Bahrain. Those don't come around that often. In fact, back-to-back clean sheets for Bahrain over Indonesia. However, Indonesia started off so far so good with a couple of draws, drawing with heavyweight Saudi Arabia and Australia. Meanwhile, Bahrain picking up a win against Australia, but losing to Japan. So I'm turning to the camera right here, right now. I'm looking at you, Indonesia. I love you. I love you to bits, and I hope you get a good result here. But don't forget to vote. I'm looking at you. I'm calling out for the Indonesian voice. Please look in the description, and I need you guys to vote. But speaking of this game against Bahrain, guess what, folks? Backing your boys to get an upset here. 1-0 win on the road. Indonesia. Let's do this. Let's do this, Indonesia. I love you guys. Let's go for it. And I might even do the watch along for this one. I'm on you guys. I'm rooting for Indonesia all the way. And then finally, folks, we're going to go to Saudi Arabia as they take on Japan. A bit of a ding-dong classic over in Group C. Played 9 times in 2006. 4 wins for Saudi Arabia, 5 for Japan. There's been no draws between the two sides. Saudi Arabia, though, 67% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Japan, unbeatable. 8 wins on the row, at home as well. 6 wins on a trot across all competitions. The last time they played, it was a 2-0 win for Japan back in February 2022. But that was in Japan. Last time they played in Saudi Arabia. In fact, back-to-back wins for Saudi Arabia against Japan went over in Saudi Arabia. Difficult one to call this one. Of course, Saudi Arabia with a draw against Indonesia and then a win against China. Japan back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, we're looking at 3, maybe 4 clean sheets. 5 clean sheets on the bounce for them, and they scored a whole crap load of goals. I'm talking 15, 22 goals in the last 4 games combined in all competitions, all venues. So Saudi Arabia have been okay. Japan, though, have been incredible. So and we got Yuki Ohashi in the Japanese squad for the first time. Hopefully he'll get himself on the score sheet. 2-1 win. Japan taking it, and of course remaining in tip-top shape. That, my friends, completes it. Of course, we'll be back for the next round of games, but also we might be back on Thursday for a watch-along, so please stand by for that. And of course, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please go ahead and vote. Blackburn Overseas has been nominated for 2 categories at the Football Content Creator Awards, but it's all down to you guys. I'm speaking to you, Indonesia. I'm talking to you, China. I'm talking to you, Japan. Please, I'm a big old Yuki man. Big old Yuki Ohashi. Get him in there. Vote for Yuki. Vote for Rovers. Please go ahead and vote. Costs you nothing. 20 seconds of your time. There's a link in the description, but I need your vote. We'll be back, as I said. Until then, guys, subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later. I'm out of here.